This episode is brought to you by Extra.Fund, a Dubai-based fully doxed DeFi company. Extra has applied capital protection mechanisms and guarantees that were previously unavailable in the blockchain industry. Their guaranteed fund program is designed to compensate you if the token price drops. The fund will automatically match up to 90% of the initial purchase price. Get over to Extra.Fund for more information about how you can buy, stake, and earn profits no matter what the crypto markets are doing. Link in the description below.
This my two Satoshis. Who need 2 cents when they can get double from stacking Toshis? Yeah.
Welcome to my two Satoshis with default. Doing another video, market analysis, and just showing you where I'm seeing the price of Bitcoin going. Starting off with the weekly time frame. Last week we closed. Now we rejected that 43,200 area. Closed. Was having a terrible week until yesterday. Actually, we're starting to pivot and starting to stay above this critical support here, because if you break this, you're probably going to come down and test this area around 31,600. But right now we're getting some bullish price action. I'm going to show you why, and why I'm starting to get a little bit more optimistic that we'll see more upside than downside. Let's go into the daily. You know, we had our downtrend, made our low back in January, ran up, made about the same high as this peak, and you sold off. What is interesting is you are currently making a higher low than previous low, and you're using this trend line as support that you broke out of the downtrend, which is positive. And also you are developing what is called hidden bullish divergence. Hidden bullish divergence is just a situation where you have a low and you have a higher low, and you're getting more amounts of negative momentum on your indicator. Basically signal that, you know, people that were shorting these areas or were short, you're taking profit, and you're actually starting to lose momentum for more selling, and you're actually it's a positive development. And it'll be really interesting. What you need to look for to see if we're bottoming out at this price, we're not in this area, is you want to break these previous highs. But before you even do that, you do have some resistance from past peaks. You have this peak here. It's around like 40,600. And you can see, you know, multiple times the close, it was around that area. That's probably where you're going to be tested next. And if you can get above that area, you will probably be testing these highs around $44,600. And you're probably wondering, what changed for the price to start to react the way it has? And this is why it's so important that you understand the trends, support and resistance, patterns, divergence, and, you know, use your fibs as targets. What you were developing after the sell-off, you develop a pattern which is called a descending broadening wedge. You could see every time, you know, you got to the top of the wedge, sold off. When you got to the bottom, it was used as support. Got near the top, sold. Got to the bottom, ran back up, sold, used as support, ran back up. And I was, you know, keeping people updated about this pattern on Twitter. Broke the pattern bullishly, actually yesterday. And now you're just bullishly, after your impulse up, you're just consolidating right now. Go to the hour. And if you could see this pennant, or you could call it somewhat a ascendant triangle as well, more so a pennant, you could be seeing higher prices. The measure move of this pattern, it's a small pattern, but, you know, it's a 5% move to 41,800. Again, I would be getting to those areas of that next resistance. I think the next real zone is from 40,000 to 42K. Going back to the daily, looking at that peak from last January. Yeah, the high was 42,000. So you'll be testing that area. If you could break above, you'll probably be testing your highs from back early in February. What also is interesting, what I've been noticing, is the correlation between the cryptocurrency market and also the S&P, and, you know, the NASDAQ and stocks. And I was looking at the S&P 500. I'm going to use the futures. On a daily, you can see that we made a low, then made a lower low, but on your MACD, you're making higher amounts of negative momentum, which from last week's video, you should know by now is bullish divergence. Same with the RSI. You have bullish divergence on the RSI and MACD on a daily time scale. After, you know, I had a channel here, the S&P futures and the measure move was hit. Again, this is why using patterns so powerful, really hit that measure move and you rebounded. And, now we're painting bullish divergence on a daily. Like I said, the price of Bitcoin has been very correlated with the price of these indices. And so it's something else I've been watching. It makes me, a little bit more confident that this current move with BTC isn't going to sell off as of now like it was back in the middle of the month. And also what I was seeing on a lot of alt pairs, just like the S&P, you're making lows, making a lower low, but on your indicators, your MACD, your RSI, you are painting bullish divergence. So, these are low risk areas to me, how I, trade, what I look for to, take longs, and especially on right now on like all pairs like Litecoin. There's a numerous amount of pairs. I'm not going to really be able to go through all, but XLM is painting bullish divergence. To me right now, it's more of a likelihood that you were going to see higher prices than lower prices. Now, the last thing you just would have to worry about is, okay, so we had our trend, our downtrend. We're starting to bottom out. Hopefully we get to these highs and break these highs. How do you get targets to the upside? And what areas would you, if you are longing, which areas would you look to start taking profit? Everything's contingent on the price still going up, but what you would use is your fib retracement tool. You go from your high to your low. And typically a common retracement is anywhere between the 382 to the 618. And you can see the price points where that 382 is at 46,620, 50,971 for your 50% fib, and your 618 is around like 55,000. So those are the areas, if we do break this high, this last high, I would be looking at to potentially, offload my positions. It's all contingent on if we break this peak. Just looking at it, last week I was explaining to you how, looking at the larger time scales, I was looking at, I believe it was the monthly or the weekly. If we would break this support, that you're potentially be confirming a double top. But if what you're seeing, which is actually also interesting right now, is at this support at 35,000, you bounced off it and you're starting to trend, well, for this month, starting to turn green. So maybe people are confirming that this low back in June is support. And if they do, and you could start getting prices to the upside, you could potentially start to test these all-time highs. But we're very early in this. This month could still sell off and you could break below this line. It's really all contingent on, maintaining these, this trend, potential trend change from your lows to your highs to your higher lows, and we have to make a higher high. So, right now, as everything looks, it looks good to see more upside. That's just what I'm seeing. If we do break these lows around 34,800 and 75, then you will be making lower lows, and this trend is pretty much going to the downside. But that's what I'm seeing right now in these charts. That's my market analysis for Bitcoin. And if you're enjoying this type of content, get in the comments, let me know, and hopefully I will see you in the future. Until then, peace.